Hey everybody, what a crazy news night because it's an election night, first of all. And even though it's basically quiet here, uh, comparatively speaking, in Fayette County, there's all kinds of stuff going on around the United States, including San Francisco. Alameda County is silent mainly because there's only one election going on in there, and that's Piedmont, and that's for measures G and H. And other than that, and then of course Emergence on ABC is just incredible. I started the original live stream off with Emergency on ABC because I was going to talk about it, and frankly speaking, I looked at the numbers and I realized that it was kind of a small subset. It's popular. You know what? I'm going to talk about it another time because you all are used to talking about something a little different, and I get that. But there's all of stuff going on, so I thought, I'll mix the sports, I'll mix the politics, and I'll mix some Vegas news you didn't expect to hear, but I really pay attention to as the person who has one of the largest Las Vegas Twitter account networks ever. Hey, Rolling Dubs, how you doing? I'm gonna get started right off the bat here. I'm gonna take the topics out of order from what they appear to be in the title, and I'm gonna go over with this. And this is on CNN. Democrat Andy Beshear claims a victory in the Kentucky governor's race. If this victory holds, he will have pulled an upset because no one expected this man to overtake the incumbent Republican governor in a state that went for Donald Trump big time in 2016 to this point, to the tune of like a 30-point lead. So different. This is what CNN is reporting right now. Democrat Andy Beshear claimed victory Tuesday night in the Kentucky governor's race, but Republican Governor Matt Bevin says he's not conceding. Bevin told supporters in Louisville, would it be a Bevin race if it wasn't a squeaker? I mean, come on. I mean, really, truly, this is a close race. We are not conceding this race by any stretch. With 99% of precincts reporting, Beshear currently has, get this, 709,697 votes to 703,899 votes. Can you say close shave? Whew. CNN projects Democrats will flip both chambers of the Virginia legislature, taking control of the state Senate and the House of Delegates. Polls have closed in Kentucky, Mississippi, and Virginia, and votes are being tallied to decide the next governor of Kentucky and the next governor of Mississippi and the makeup of the Virginia legislature. Check back for election results. Then it says, hey, Bray, welcome to Zenny 62. Kentucky governor's race. Bevin, who was elected in 2015, is running for re-election against the state's Attorney General Beshear. President Donald Trump endorsed Bevin and held a rally in Lexington, Kentucky on Monday night in a final push to encourage voters to turn out for the Republican candidate. If Bevin wins, Republicans will maintain control over the state legislature and the governor's office. Trump won Kentucky by nearly 30 points in 2016, but Bevin's victory margin in 2015 came to within 10 points of his opponent. Medicaid eligibility is an issue in Kentucky, but Bevin wants more work requirements for recipients. Beshear wants to lift those requirements. You get the idea. Then there's the Mississippi governor's race. But let's see what's going on here as far as the numbers are looking like for Beshear in Kentucky governor's race before we shift topics. I'm just doing a potpourri right now, okay? Then we'll come back and talk about it, all right? Okay, right now, as it stands, we have, this is what it looks like in Kentucky, folks, as it stands right now, okay? This is what we're looking at, okay? It is Reeves, oh, excuse me, that's Mississippi. I stand corrected. But, we'll come back to that. See if I can scroll upward. It won't let me scroll. There it is. Well, see, that gives me Mississippi, but it won't give me results, okay? Mississippi governor, obviously the GOP is going to maintain Reeves is the winner. He's got, that's what, 90, 98%? Yeah, okay. But the whole point is 2019 election results. Kentucky governor. All right, look at that. Oh, man. Okay, look at that. Bashir. 49.2. Bevan, 48.8. Hicks, whoever that is, 2.0. Hicks 2.0. So you got that margin of victory. That's close. So what does it say? Hold on to your butts. Hold on to your butts. All right. Shifting gears to talk about one of my favorite owners, seeing as we talked, oh boy, we talked recently, but the first time I met this man was November 1st of 1999 at the Chicago NFL owners meeting at the Wilson cocktail party. And he was sitting with another woman who invited me over. She was and is Katie Blackburn, executive vice president with the Cleveland Browns. And the he was and is Dean Spanos. That's right. And I was in the guise of Super Bowl bid promoter and assembler and enabler and engineer and political. I did it all. Almost got it too, doggone it. All right. But I digress. Fast forward to today, to tonight, and we have reports flowing out of the media that Chargers owner Dean Spanos said London relocation is BS. Chargers LA problem shouldn't become NFL's London headache, so another one says. Chargers bolting for London? Nope, says Spanos. Which basically means, taken all together, we were looking at it, but then you numbskulls started nosing in and we decided not to. Because we didn't want Dean to know. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Am I suggesting at all that, am I suggesting that Dean would go behind the back of Stan Kroenke? No, perish the thought. No, the whole point is it is incumbent upon him to seek a better deal. And right now, let's face it, it's not working out for him. The Chargers had no business in Los Angeles, none. And this was a chase for franchise value dollars. And there were owners who wanted Spanos to win the race over Mark Davis. And Mark Davis felt that he was being treated like crap. He was right. And so he basically said, hey, you owe me something. And then he saw this Vegas thing out there and felt like his desire to have gambling involved would be better ignited in Vegas. And so he better strike while the iron is hot. So he went behind the back of the city of Oakland and established these talks in 2014. Then they heated up and became more serious, and then they evolved to where they are now with a news organization basically going out on a limb with a union rep and putting out all these messages that, oh, the stadium is going to be finished on time, when in point of fact, they really can't guarantee that. It put Don Webb in a dangerous spot, and that's where he's at right now. So now Don Webb has got to deliver. They got Don Webb on television saying, we're going to deliver a finished stadium. He didn't say these words exactly. Crafty all. We're going to deliver a finished stadium. We're going to complete it by July 31st, 2020. Okay? I'm laughing because they've got so much work to do, it's not funny. Now, if they got an extra income generation, more money, certainly from the sponsorships they've been securing, right? That helps them along toward their goal. But absent that, and I got to believe it's something related to that, I can't see them finishing and opening the stadium for a full NFL season based on their own documents. I'm not talking about, some magic crystal ball I have, but I do have one. But my point is, and I am to a large degree leaning on my own experience in terms of construction architecture, urban planning. Well, I should more say urban planning, architecture, and construction in that order. Yeah, hey, yeah, I think so. So anyway, Dean Spano says no. I mean, he said, it's funny because Dean likes to curse. Fuck no. Fuck this. Oh, man. That's why sometimes I don't like to do live streams and talk about them because, it flags the algorithms. It's like, oh my God, you're cursing again. I'm not cursing. I'm quoting what Dean Spano said. I'm not cursing. I'm quoting what Dean Spano said. Okay? That's all I'm doing. Now, according to Eric D. Williams, blood boiling, Los Angeles Chargers owner Dean Spano strongly denied his team has any interest in relocating to London, addressing a report broaching the possibility on Tuesday. It's total effing bull, Spano said. We're not going to London. I can hear the Spano's like, it's total fucking bullshit. We're not going to London. We're not going anywhere. We're playing in Los Angeles. This is our home, and this is where we're planning to play for a long fucking time, period. Until further notice. Spanos was responding to a story Monday by The Athletic, which reported the Chargers and the NFL could look at moving the team to London, partly because of concerns over the Los Angeles market. So let's get this straight. Let's just stop here, all right? Let's put on the brakes. Because this is what we have figured out. You know what we figured out? Hey, you, and you agree that the Los Angeles market is a problem. Okay. And the Chargers are having a problem selling PSLs. Now, in that context, you would be right to ask, well, how come the Raiders aren't having a problem? And my retort would be because the casino industry is well on its way to owning the Raiders. That's why. Cowboy Wrestler says, there is a simple solution. Move them back to San Diego, which I think is a fantastic idea, all right? Let me continue. The NFL issue, you know what I hate about this, though? See, I can come out with something that's blockbuster, but ESPN will never give me, like, Zinni Abraham said in Oakland News Now, and they should, all right? These pissants, these pinheads, these punks, these, okay. I didn't really mean that. I was just, what was I doing? Yeah, that's what I was doing. Okay. All right. The NFL issued a statement over Tuesday that there was no substance to the report. Oh, really? Now, hold on a second. If they issued a statement, I wonder if it's on the NFL media site, because if it is, I missed it. Hold on a second. Let me go and see if there's something here, all right? Hey, Jamal. Jamal, I meant to contact you. I'll follow up in private. Suffice to say things are smoothing along, but I'll follow up in private. Okay. Let's see your sign in. I'm signing in right now to the NFL media site for folks. Okay. There. Where is this thing? There it is. Okay. All right. Where are we? Jury report this week. And you know what, folks? If the NFL issued a statement, it wasn't something that was put on the NFL website for all to view. It was one of those deals where someone contacted the NFL's PR person, and the PR person texted back or emailed back a statement. That's what that was, okay? There's no black and white in the website here, okay? So getting back to, hey, how you doing there? Getting back to the story, the NFL issued a statement Tuesday that there was no substance to the report. No consideration has been given to the Chargers playing anywhere other than Los Angeles. And folks, there's a reason I'm saying that this way. There's a reason I'm being so flip. No consideration given to the Chargers playing anywhere other than Los Angeles at the new stadium in Hollywood Park next season and beyond, the league statement said. There have been no discussions of any kind, of any kind, of any kind, between NFL and the Chargers regarding moving to London, but both our office and the Chargers are entirely focused on the success of the team in Los Angeles. All right. So, and then it goes on here. It says, since the Chargers relocated from San Diego to Los Angeles 3 years ago, the team has experienced an uphill climb in building a fan base, with opposing fans regularly taking over the team's temporary home at Dignity Health Sports Complex, a 27,000-seat soccer stadium that serves as the house of Major League Soccer's LA Galaxy. However, the Chargers believe they will have more success earning new fans in Los Angeles once the team moves into its new home of SoFi Stadium in Inglewood starting next year. Chargers coach Anthony Lynn, when asked if he had talked with his players about the relocation story, said his focus is on Thursday's game on the road against the Oakland Raiders. I just found out about the story last night, Lynn said. I don't think there's anything to it. What the heck does he know? Well, he's a coach. Coach the team. Well, I know there's not anything to it. We're not going to let it be a distraction for us. We've got a job to do Thursday night. And that's what we're preparing for. Quarterback Phillip Rivers, who continued to commute from San Diego to Orange County, said since the team's move to Los Angeles, declined to comment before practice. Quotes, but he did leave a comment. I don't see any reason to comment on it, to be honest with you. Because, hey, something can happen, all right? Something can happen. Something can happen, okay? Something could happen. You know it, and I know it. Something can happen with that Chargers deal. Okay. The bottom line is that the Chargers, if I were the Chargers, you know what I would do? I would start making deals with the Indian gaming community around Southern California, because they've got the cash. One organization, San Manuel, is spent, by my estimation, maybe about $150 million on the Raiders over a multi-year period. Maybe, hey, they can partner with that organization or the competitor for PSL sponsorships. In other words, hey, we'll put up your signs here and other online, perks and directives if you pay us X amount over, say a 20-year period, right? Or 10-year period, more than likely a 15-year period, something like that. That's low-hanging fruit. Not only low-hanging by value, I mean in terms of ease. They're just looking to do deals, and by and large, they're being skipped over, which is why what the Raiders did in partnering with San Manuel was so cool, because the Raiders were able to see over the racism of the time and say, you know what, we will partner with you. That was cool. So, Wright Abbott says, Kroenke is mad because Chargers PSLs and tickets are half price of his Rams tickets, I heard. I would be mad too if I were building a stadium and my tenant is charging half. Yeah, oh boy, good information. Wow. Cowboy Rush says, from what I've heard, the sponsorship deals at Inglewood Stadium are dependent on two teams playing there. That's correct. Simply put, Kroenke needs the Chargers for the deals. Yeah, that's right. Because what you're looking at on a very blanket perspective is the ability to promise not, instead of, say, 10 home games, all right, 20. So that 20 home games is largely going to buy you that high dollar naming rights commitment that you're looking for, which they got, and the other financial commitments like from American Airlines, which they got. So, but for that, yeah, so that's how that could shape out in that area, all right? Now, we got Dems, we got Chargers, A's, and Coliseum. Oh, I I will come back to that. The A's Coliseum. I'll talk about it now. All right. The Oakland A's. The Oakland A's have agreed in principle to talk with the city of Oakland about purchasing the Coliseum. I This for me has mixed emotions because if the A's buy the Coliseum, it will be to tear it down, unless there's something contractually specific that says you can buy it, but you can't break it, right? I mean, like severe changes, okay? Because otherwise, we're being forced to give up on sports at a time when sports around the United States is growing in terms of type of sport, money that's sloshing into it, like from gambling and the relaxation of a college athlete's ability to make professional level money from the use of their likeness or image. Powerful stuff taking place, and the city of Oakland doesn't want to go and take advantage of it. No, they ought to be made to do that. Um, so we've got so that's the latest there. Uh, I also have to remark in after remark in remarking. How's that? Okay, and I'll say it simply. Okay, now that um, I've turned away from that for a second, I can talk about this other issue, which is the Las Vegas Palms. You would say, what's that doing there? And my retort would be this. Let me read it. Let me explain it by tweet, okay? Not my tweet. This is from uh, Las Vegas. See if he posted Las Vegas. Excuse me. Las Vegas. Vital Vegas. Hold on a second. It's vital. Okay. Come on, give me the thing. Vital. There it is, Vegas. Okay. Vital Vegas. Listen to this. This is a doozy. If you haven't heard this before, you haven't lived. This is a doozy. All right. This is a doozy. This is a doozy. This is a doozy. Okay, here it is. Happened 7 hours ago on Vital Vegas. Let me show you the message. Let me read it. Okay. Here we go. All right. This afternoon, Red Rocks Resorts Incorporated announced the closing of Chaos Nightclub, Chaos, I think that's actually Chaos Nightclub and Day Club at the Palms Casino Resort effective immediately. Immediately. While Palms has experienced exceptional growth across both the gaming and non-gaming sectors of the business, the expense side of the business has been challenging to date, due in large part to the entertainment and fixed cost structure associated with chaos. Therefore, we have decided to take some time to reassess the programming and use of those venues going forward. In the interim, we intend to use the venues for private meeting space and special events, in addition to everyday pool resort operations. Phew, that is something. You know what that tells me? It tells me this. We don't have enough people visiting our nightclub. And the question is, why? And the answer is, I believe, adjunctly related to the visitor problems Las Vegas has had, and why high dollar conventions like CES are so important to its future, and why having sports, major league, marquee sports events and brands is so important to Las Vegas' future that it would risk $750 million of the public money, which could default. Well, yeah, it could lean back on the taxpayer, not default, but to prevent default, the taxpayer has to pay the gap, which, hey, look, isn't what people want to do, right? So that's why this is a big deal, because they're saying, hey, we can't do this. It's going to be interesting to see what they transition to. That's scary. For the Palms to just chicken out like that, they're not the only one in Las Vegas having that. Look, all of the Las Vegas nightclubs are having problems. And no, I'm not talking about little names you never heard of. I'm talking about big names, like Excess. Okay. They're having problems. Why? Again, it's related to the whole Las Vegas visitor problem, the ability to gamble someplace else with ease, all leading to the basic question, hey, why do I need to come to Las Vegas if, say, Las Vegas isn't paying out like it used to, right? Or if Las Vegas nickels and dimes you to death with its resort fees. You get the idea? So all of that comes into play. And I present this to you because it is related to the Raiders Stadium, because it gives a more realistic picture of how the Raiders can benefit and cause the Palms to return to nightclub glory. Although the question is, do I think that will happen? The answer is possibly. 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 And I say that because a lot of the Raiders spending will be people who would do something else but still live in Las Vegas, but they're shifted their expenses. You want a key to what I'm talking about? Consider the number of casino people that have bought PSLs. What does that mean? It means they live in Las Vegas already. Okay? They are going to be the shifters. They are going to be the ones that drive the Raiders, if you will, popularity. Okay? Ryan Abbott says casino sales are everywhere, it seems. Now sports books will be legal everywhere. And that is why Oakland needs to jump on that bandwagon, all right? That is why it's so important that the Athletics not be allowed to tear down the stadium. That is why it's so important that the Athletics be at least forced to consider a sports book at the Coliseum. And I need to write that thing. Dang on it, I'm going to write that. The Coliseum needs a sports book. The Coliseum needs to build a sports book and resort within Coliseum City that will be the game changer for the industry. Considering its proximity to the airport, to BART, to the freeway, the Oakland Coliseum is ideally positioned to have what would be the most popular sports book in the Bay Area and in Northern California, if not California. That's right, you heard it here first. That takes planning to make that happen. Not someone coming along and saying, well, we kind of like tech. What does that mean? You know what really bothers me about that whole picture? I'll tell you. This is what bothers me about that whole picture. You say, what bothers you, Zenny? I'll tell you what bothers me about the whole picture. You want me to tell you what bothers me about the whole picture? It's this. In this tech-fueled economic development wave that we're in, something that's hot, that you provide a tax incentive for, that you get from some other city that is a less than robust company, all right? That a company that cleared its IPO, got a ton of money, and is suddenly flush with cash, you find that company, in some circumstances, would burn through its money, and in order to cut cost, have to do what? Have to downsize and move. So you're looking at 5 years, okay, of useful life economically from that thing that you worked so hard to get after. And after 5 years, it's more than likely it's gone. You tell me, is that good economic development? I'll give you the answer. The answer is no. So when you say that you're focusing on tech, my retort to you is you don't know what you are doing from an economic development standpoint, and you run the risk of ruining your own city with a chase that you have no clue about how to do, let alone understand that you really shouldn't do it. That's why, okay? So enough of this tech talk. Tech is everywhere. It's inculcated in our society now. For someone to say they're going to do tech, I'm saying, well, you know, what do you mean? All right. I mean, look at how CES, where Zenny 62 Media is going into its 10th straight year as press, credential press, has changed. CES Las Vegas, that's right, the same CES Las Vegas that annually helps Las Vegas maintain its top tier rating and top tier everything, because 200,000 people almost come to CES. I'm one of them. Think about that. Think about how it's changed. I will tell you, give you one of a number of examples. 5 years ago, there was a little bitty space in the South Convention Center area, South Hall as it's called, at Las Vegas Convention Center, all right? That was about this as big as this, all right? It was occupied by a company called Fitbit, all right? Fitbit has grown to become this enormous company that's about to go IPO within days, if it hasn't. It hasn't already, has it? No. Within this week or month. Then there was another company just a few ticks down the way the next year, 4 years ago, that had a kind of a little bitty space, but it was growing, but not much. Still, unless you went down there and made videos about it, you had no idea Peloton existed. Now, anybody want to tell me out there that Peloton is not a successful company? All of the two firms that I mentioned were part of the fit tech sector that's grown. All right? So you turn around and you say, hey, I'm going to base my economic development strategy on fit tech. Okay. So what happens, you know, when fit tech gives way to climate tech? I'm not kidding you, all right? Are you ready for that? What about the climate tech companies? They have different needs than the fit tech companies. They have a need for larger test space because these gigantic machines they're building, because they're talking about, you know, terraforming and claiming changing the climate and all this other stuff. Different thing, right? So you're going to commit your entire economic development strategy to something that's iffy like that. That's not how you do it. It has to be more flexible in terms of incentives and everything else. This is a really issue with me. And the reason I say it like that is because, all right, because of something that my friend, Oakland Councilmember Dan Kalb, had said way back when the Raiders were not approved to go to Las Vegas. We had all hoped that the NFL wouldn't do it. We had all hoped that Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf had this Hail Mary that she was going to throw, which I thought, all right, we all hoped that, all right. We all were getting together and basking in the joy of this fantastic presentation, this great town hall. Everybody was there. I was there. You were there. Ray Bobbitt gave a nice speech. Everybody gave nice speeches, right? I got a whole live stream of it. I don't think I've watched the full part of it. I don't think I've watched the full part of it since then, okay? But it's kind of painful in light of everything, but it's also, oops, excuse me. But it's also, okay, there I am, all right. But it's also instructive, all right? And I'm trying to, the reason why I'm floating around here like this is because I am looking for this kind of dealie that I had here that for some reason doesn't want to rear its head. I hate that when you try to get something and it doesn't want to cooperate, you know, it's like, oh, come on, man. But it's all these cords, man. And see, I have 1, 2, 3 there. It's funny how a cord can be one place and all of a sudden it winds up someplace else, all right? You got to train these magic doodaddies. Anyway, all right. So here's this is Oakland Councilmember Dan Kalb giving us, you and me, the picture that has set the tone for economic development thinking in Oakland. And I like Dan, but I have to say, or lack thereof, I don't agree with it. But this is what he said. Right here, this is right there, okay? Check the date, May 9th, 2017, all right? Okay? This is what he said. I made that later. This is when he said this in March, before the 2 days before the NFL vote in Arizona regarding Las Vegas.
I think you've heard our message loud and clear. And it's not a last minute message, it's the message that Oakland and the surrounding communities have been saying for months on end. We have a strong deal. We are one of the largest media markets in the country. And if the Raiders leave, actually go somewhere else, this entire Coliseum area will be developed and redeveloped, and there will never be an opportunity for the next 100 years to bring another team or the Raiders back. If you say goodbye now and they actually leave, that means the Bay Area is a one-team market forever.
When we have enough room for two.
There would be no place to put the stadium after they leave. Because we're going to redevelop this area, with the stadium or without. We want to redevelop the Coliseum with a new football stadium. But if they leave, we'll do it without one, and there won't be any place to put one. Nowhere, Concord, Fremont, Berkeley, no one else is going to build a stadium. They'll be saying that one of the largest media markets in the country can only hold one team, 49ers, and that's just ridiculous. They're shooting themselves in the foot financially. We are the place where the Raiders should be, financially, fan-wise, and because of our smart plan that we have that has a multiple sources of funding to finance a new stadium and an ancillary development next to the stadium, a brand new BART transfer situation. It's all coming together. We just need to make sure the owners understand.
And not only that, we're at a vibrant time in this community. You know, we talk about all the other negatives about it, but the positives are we've gotten over the institutional investor racism that's plagued us for decades, right? And now we're on the upswing.
You know, absolutely. I mean, Oakland is a growing place of investment, of diversity, of huge, passionate fan base for the Raiders throughout Oakland and all of Northern California. But those people are not going to go to Las Vegas. They're not. I don't know where their fans are going to come from. You know, I mean,
and they don't either.
They don't either. You know,
42% of the tourists. They're like, you're going to come from where and spend how much?
Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
So, and there are a lot of unanswered questions for the Las Vegas deal.
Right.
And so I think it's going to fall apart. But I think the smart move would be for the NFL owners to tell Mark Davis, listen, Mark, you're not your father. We know what's best right now. You need to sit down with the city of Oakland, and the Fortress Group and Ronnie Lott and work something out.
And there's something I want to do, and folks, there's something I want to do. This man is District 1 Councilman Dan Kalb. He has represented his district excellently. So I just want to give him a personal shout out and say thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your service to the city.
A lot of good hard work.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Hey guys, what do you think, man? What do you think?
I think this is a good gathering for the Raider Nation. This ain't the whole Raider Nation ain't here, but y'all came together to show us support and love and our loyalty to the city of Oakland. Not the city of Oakland, but the Oakland Raiders in general. The votes coming for the next 3 days in Arizona, but like the people are here, the owners are here to see this right now. They will have a strong, faith and heart as far as the Raiders belong right here in Oakland. Silver and Black was born here in Oakland, born and raised in Oakland, by our hoodie says, and we're gonna stay here in Oakland too, to the end. But hey, what is it?
Oh, man, yeah. Chris, hey, how are you? What do you guys think? What do you think, man? Nice job, first of all. What do you guys think? What do you think?
About this press conference?
Yeah, everything, man. Press conference.
I think this is great. I wish we'd have started doing these already. You know, that we didn't do it this weekend, but this is great. Like the whole community support together. That they show that there's viability in this, and we'll see what happens on Monday.
Yeah, so anyway, so there you go. You heard Kalb say it. He says, hey, look, if they leave, that's it. There's no place to come back to, okay? where are they going to put the stadium? That set the tone for the thinking, all right, of the city. And the whole point is we're in the driver's seat. You're going to leave. The part about failing in Las Vegas, I didn't agree with then. Obviously, that's not the case now. However, I felt I wasn't sold on it, and my videos reflect that because I consistently question the wisdom of going to a media market that's only 42 in size. And I have to remark that, I just have to say this straight out, the overall quality of the naming rights agreements is not in accordance with a standard top tier NFL facility. Okay, that just has to be said. All right. The only major corporation that has big money in it and is a founding partner is Caesars, and that's a casino organization. But by contrast, it is a stark contrast. Okay. Atlanta has Mercedes-Benz, you know who they are. Porsche, you know who they are. Coca-Cola, and I don't mean Reyes Coca-Cola Botting, I mean Coca-Cola. Okay? There's a big difference between Reyes Coca-Cola Bottling and Coca-Cola. Falcons have Coca-Cola. All right? BMW, SunTrust Bank, which is local to Atlanta, but it's also a huge regional organization. In short, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Falcons Stadium, reflects the economic power of Atlanta and its place as the capital of the Southeast. In that context, what does Las Vegas reflect? It reflects that it's the capital of the casino industry to a degree, but it also reflects that because of the poor market capitalization rates of many casino organizations, you don't have this rush by all of them to outbid the other to put their name on it and everything else. You've got, again, Caesars Entertainment, and then you have a previously unknown Indian gaming casino organization that's able to slip in under the radar and spend money. And I will bet you credits to Navy Beans that what they bid on was less than what Legends Entertainment wanted to secure. That is not to say that I applaud the Raiders, and I do applaud the Raiders for the deal and for giving them a chance, because the Raiders could have simply sniffed at it and said no, but they didn't do that. And they didn't do that for a big reason. It's a 3-word reason. You want to know what it is? They need, 4 reasons. 4-word reasons. They need the money. Let's try that again. A 4-word reason. They need the money. That's why. Okay. And they're looking everywhere they can. They just signed up Bank of Nevada. It's good. Still small. I never heard of Bank of Nevada. The Raiders have signed up as sponsors organizations that, say, for one. Okay, you say Cox. All right, fine, Cox. Still, Cox. Okay? Cox. So I've got Cox and Caesars. But how many people around the world, how many people around America know who and what Cox is like that? By contrast, how many people in America know who Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, BMW are? These are all 3 of them are founding partners. One with a huge naming rights agreement, that's Mercedes, in Atlanta Falcons Stadium. The name And then Allegiant. You would say, what about Allegiant? Allegiant, sure. But look, when I heard Allegiant put their name on it, I thought, my first thought, and I said it here, was, do they have the cash flow to afford that? Remember? Okay. So wait, do they have the cash flow to afford that? And they remember the flood of jokes that came down like, oh yeah, well, great, because they are going to be late turning on the lights on the around their name on the stadium because they're late getting their planes in on time to get you where you want to go. That's the kind of jokes that were coming around. I'm just, as they say, being real with you. So it's not, having said all that, there is this to be said. It's not the strongest market deal you want, but they did get it done. If you want to say that they assembled sort of a blue collar star lineup, you would be right in saying that, because that's precisely what this is coming out to be. If you want to say it's quintessentially Raiders, you can say that too. But it begs the question, would the Raiders have done better from a sponsorship perspective in the Bay Area? My answer is yes. Yes. Okay. But the reality is, no one around was coughing up $750 million for that deal. And Mark said, that's what I want. If I don't get that, I'm going to walk. And that's what Sheldon Adelson said before him. He says, look, we want $750. They wanted it for different reasons. Adelson wanted that money because he wanted to tie up a significant amount of public money and keep it away from an organization he hates so much, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. He hated it so much that he, I argue, worked to destroy it through the Southern Nevada Tourism Infrastructure Committee, and then put someone in charge to keep it down, Stephen Hill, while he, this is his original plan, builds his Raiders Stadium. But that didn't work out the way he wanted it to, so he says he pivoted and said, I'm going to do MSG Sphere. And I'm going to make that just cool enough to where I can take concerts away from Raiders Stadium. Okay. Okay. So, hey, this is some deep stuff. Hey, John Akala, how you doing? Let me read your comments. All right. Calber says, the unfortunate reality is that if the Chargers leave, will be after 2039 when their lease is up. Riot Abbott says, casino sales are everywhere, it seems. I read that one. And Donis asks, what is a sports book? A sports book is simply where you can go and bet on sports. It's that simple. You can, let me see if I can give you an example by visual, because saying that is one thing, but showing you, like, this is fun. If I type sports book in Google, which I just did, what do I get in terms of image? Okay, and because I've never done that before, what do I get in terms of an image? This is what I get. This is what I get. This is what a sports book looks like, right? Bingo. Ta-da, sports book. Places where you can follow sports around the world sitting from a luxurious seat, generally in a place like Las Vegas, but now in places like this one in Philadelphia. Yes, I did say Philadelphia. Okay. That's not Vegas, folks. That's Atlantic City's Resorts best sports book in Philly. Okay. So how come this can't be Oakland? This is what we should have. This is what we should have. Okay. Here's another one. Parks Casino. Here's another one. How sports books operate and make a profit. What that means. Ooh. Oh, hold on a second. Ooh, let me read that. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm all about this. I believe this should be the future of the Coliseum. I know McKibben doesn't agree with me for reasons that he's not really down with the whole sports gambling thing, but this is the right time to do it. It combined with the NCAA changes will save women's sports. I'm telling you, I've said it before, I'll say it again. What is a sports book, and how does such a business make money? A sports book, notice this is for you. A sports book is the same thing as a bookmaker or bookie. It is a company or individual who accepts bets from individual sports bettors. Most of these kinds of bets are on whether a team or individual is going to win a specific sports event. Books accept bets on either side of a sporting event. They're able to afford this because of the difference between what a bettor has to wager and what a bettor wins. Most bets at most books require a bettor to wager $110 to win $100, although some require $120 to win $100. And some discount books only require $105 to win $100. Those numbers, by the way, are ratios. You don't have to wager $110. You can bet $55 or $11. You just see winnings of $50 or $10 for those bets. So in other words, Donis, if you were you were to lay down $55, you would bet on a bet, all right? Let's say Cowboys over the Broncos, all right? You'd win $50, okay? And they say that's the ratio that's important. Bookmaking in the United States is tightly regulated by the government. Ta-da! Most states don't have legal sports betting. See, now that's different, okay? Now that's different, all right? When this, take the date, look at the date of when this was written. June 9th of 2018, okay? A lot's changed in just over a year, don't you agree? All right? Okay? Again, most states don't have legal sports betting, although that's likely to change based on recent Supreme Court rulings. But the Federal Wire Act outlaws using any kind of wired device like a telephone or an internet connection to play sports bet, even with legal books. And I believe that was recently just changed. Plenty of online companies are willing to accept sports bets for United States customers. These books are located offshore and contend they're doing business in their country, where such activities are legal and regulated. And this post takes a closer look at how sports books make their money. What kind of bets do they handle? They handle wagers on sporting events, college and professional. Some online bookmakers expand the kinds of bets they offer to other non-sporting events, like the results of political elections or the Oscars. The actions that these books accept varies from book to book. The most popular sports bets that the bookmakers handle include baseball, basketball, boxing, football, golf, MMA, racing, tennis, and soccer. Now think of it this way. Think of having a facility that actually had representative teams, right, of all of the sports I just listed. So the fans could come to the games to do two things, not just root for their team, but also follow the sports betting action within that sport from that venue, do so over a nice dinner, hang out, congregate, luxuriate, be entertained by the sports activities. You get the idea. Imagine going into a heavily renovated East Side club at the Coliseum, okay, to where it was quite literally doubled in size to become a sports book. So you could go to, say if the Raiders stuck around a year and we were smart enough to build a sports book while they were there, build a sports book, you go to the East Side Club, and you could quite literally survey the NFL landscape from a betting perspective while you're there. There are people who would just come to the game, even though they didn't have a ticket, but they have a membership into the sports book. You see what I'm getting at? I mean, think about the dollars that flow from that. That's the environment we're in right now, okay? That's where we are. Even if we don't do anything about it, the opportunity is there for us. And I say it with such excitement because now There are strict books on regulation. There is a whole infrastructure in place to combat against gambling addiction, all right? And my theory is if the activity is spread out enough to where it's less taboo, then the betting activity becomes less and the opportunities for money losing less, okay? It's kind of like the lottery or something, you know? I mean, think about it. So I think that's why I'm really high on this as a direction I think Oakland should take. And so you would say, well, wait a minute, how do they make their money? All right. Well, I explained all that, okay? But I'll explain it again just for the closure of this. The profit comes from what the bookmaker asks you to wager when you place your bet. So, okay, you're a bet on horses, it's like that. $2 exacta, and it's win, place, or show, right? So you bet $5 exacta. Depending on the odds of the horses, you might come out with $300. Okay, it's something like that. So the bookmaker collects $110 if each person is being asked to bet $110. In this example, the bookmaker collects $11,000. All right, the winner gets their initial $110 back. Okay, so that's and the winner also wins $100 each. So basically, that's $10,500 in payouts. But since they collected $11,000, that's $500 in profit for the bookmaking organization, for the operators and developers of the sports book. Okay. And so, all right. And so basically, the extra $10 that you're risking on the bet is called the VIG. That's where the term VIG comes from. All right. So anyway, that's what, and so right now, all right, so you would say, wait a minute, are they legal? And the answer, they're legal. They're sprouting up all over the place, folks. They're legal. All right. As this was written, the only legal sports book operation was in Las Vegas. But see, Mark Davis could have stayed in Oakland and done the same damn thing. You hear what I'm saying? Because the law was changing just that fast. Just that fast. So, yeah, you say the Raiders get that advantage going to Las Vegas because they're working with people who have that, knowledge. I mean, who knows better than MGM or the Las Vegas Sands, right? And you would be correct. But the same MGM or Las Vegas Sands can now export its knowledge to Oakland. I mean, think about that. So you have the Raiders in Las Vegas, and then you have Las Vegas Sands with an operation in Oakland. That's not far-fetched. That is not far-fetched, folks. Okay? So they say that the times they are changing. I am going to close this talk out early. I mean, what's interesting about this live stream is the view count remains steady, but there were no rolling comments, which means people have been paying attention to this. They're like, either that I put you to sleep and you didn't leave. Okay, I'm not sure which one it is, but I would hope that you all got something out of this. I'm telling you, this is the next frontier. All right? Because when you think of sports, you think of guys playing it. When I think of sports, I think of guys and gals. This, and again, remember the whole image and likeness matter regarding the NCAA? What's to stop someone from betting on college? Okay? Or college women's sports, okay? Okay? So now you've got this whole landscape of sports out there that's very much like, in my estimation, where it was in, hey, Patrick and Blackman, how you doing? Where it was in 1984 forward when ESPN was created as a company. And it was the small entertainment 24-hour cable channel that few people had ever heard of at the time. And they were just getting started with what has become the standard of the country. Hey, Hunter, how you doing? Thank you. It has become the standard of the country, okay? And because of that, we had sports organization after organization, after effort, grow, grow, grow. And then with each one of these teams and leagues forming, some of these leagues form and some of these sports form, they're kind of like, what is that, all right? And they grew into something. But you would ask why? And the answer is because if they got on ESPN, they could get money in terms of from advertisers. The way it works is generally either the TV organization finds you the advertisers or you find yours and you work a deal to bring them on. The whole point is being able to afford that space that you're offered, okay? Similarly, all of these sports will be able to take advantage of this new, I call it free-range gambling opportunity with all of these sports books. Feeding this money in, bringing money to the NFL, the NHL, the NBA by far, Major League Baseball to a degree, but also women's soccer, women's rugby. Think about it, okay? Think about it, because rugby's popular. And women's sports are low-hanging fruit because of the rise of the athletic woman. And if we can get our mindset wrapped around the proper marketing of the athletic woman, I'm telling you, women's sports will see a new zenith of growth unlike anything ever seen in our history. Ever seen, okay? Ever seen. All right. Okay, so let me pick up on that one. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow night, no live stream because I have an early Thursday doctor's appointment. Good night. Live long and prosper in your world. And we got to talk TV one of these days. You got to watch Emergence, man. You guys are missing it. Oh, this is great television. All right. Oh, by the way, Bible Study announced that his city of Brighton, Colorado, just made history tonight. Just successfully recalled its mayor for the first time in its history. Congratulations. And Joseph Amendur says, yeah, I like Emergence. We should, hey, Joseph, you and I should do a special live stream about that. By the way, Joseph is on the hunt for a kidney. Help Joseph live at gmail.com. Okay? Help Joseph live at gmail.com. That's his email if you are able to donate a kidney for his needs, okay? Yep. Definitely. All right. Good night, everybody. I'll see you.